Oh, buckle up, because this one isn't just a roster shakeup, it's a full-blown NFL earthquake. Micah Parsons, the face of the Dallas Cowboys defense, the guy who eats quarterbacks alive like it's breakfast, is gone. Traded. Packed up and shipped off to Green Bay. And the kicker? Jerry Jones, the self-proclaimed master architect of America's team, is being roasted alive by his own fan base for letting it happen.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Let me say it again so it sinks in. The Dallas Cowboys just traded away Micah Parsons. And not because he suddenly forgot how to rush the passer, not because of injuries, not because of locker room drama. Nope. They traded him because Jerry Jones fumbled contract negotiations so badly that the Packers swooped in, wrote a historic $188 million check, and turned Micah into the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. 4 years, $188 million. That's $47 million a year to wreak havoc. And honestly, worth every penny. But let's not skip the delicious chaos here. This trade didn't just shock the NFL. It humiliated the Cowboys. You could feel it in real time. Cowboys fans were online posting videos of themselves ripping down Parsons posters from their bedroom walls. Talk radio in Dallas turned into a live therapy session. Fans were calling in, sobbing, raging, throwing every curse word they knew at Jerry Jones. Some even said, "This is worse than when Jimmy Johnson left." That's how deep this cut. Because Micah Parsons wasn't just a star. He was the identity of that defense. He was the heartbeat, the anchor, the only guy you could point to and say, that right there is Hall of Fame material. He was the kind of player you build around for a decade. The kind of player you extend at all costs, because guys like him don't just come around, they define eras. And Jerry Jones just let him walk out the door. And don't think for a second this wasn't personal for Parsons. Reports are flying that contract talks between his camp and Dallas weren't just slow, they were insulting. The Cowboys allegedly tried to lowball him, leaning on Cowboys tradition, as if star players are supposed to take discounts for the privilege of wearing the star on their helmet. Micah wasn't having it. He knew his worth. And now? So does Green Bay. Let's talk about the Packers here because oh boy, did they just pull off a heist. This feels like déjà vu, doesn't it? 1993. Reggie White leaves Philadelphia, signs with Green Bay, and within a few years the Packers are hoisting a Lombardi. That move didn't just change the Packers, it changed free agency in the NFL. And now, 30 years later, they've done it again. Micah Parsons isn't just a signing. He's a statement. A declaration that Green Bay isn't just rebuilding, they're coming for everything. Picture it, Lambeau Field, snow falling in January, Jordan Love leading the offense, and Micah Parsons terrorizing opposing quarterbacks. That's not just football. That's a nightmare for the rest of the NFC. Micah is the kind of player who tilts the field, who forces coordinators to lose sleep, who turns playoff games into sack fests. And now he's wearing green and gold. Meanwhile, Dallas is left trying to spin this. Jerry Jones steps to the podium, slick smile plastered on his face, saying, "We believe in our future, in building through the draft." Please. Fans aren't buying it. They know this isn't a rebuild, it's a fire sale. Because let's be real, 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark? That's what they got. A couple of lottery tickets and a solid nose tackle. That's it. That's what Jerry Jones thought Micah Parsons was worth. And the fans? Oh, they're livid. Social media is a war zone. Jerry Jones just ended our Super Bowl window. This is the dumbest trade in Cowboys history. One fan even wrote, "The Cowboys aren't America's team anymore, they're America's joke." Brutal. But let's step back and really analyze this, because the implications are massive. First, for Dallas, this trade is malpractice. Pure and simple. Micah Parsons wasn't just a good player, he was the player. The one-guy offenses schemed against every single week. Without him, that defense isn't scary. It's just fine. And in a league where quarterbacks dominate, the only way to fight back is with generational pass rushers. Dallas just gave theirs away. Second, for Green Bay, This is the kind of move that turns, maybe we're a playoff team, into, we might be hoisting the Lombardi in February. They already had a young core. They already had Jordan Love showing flashes. Now they add a defensive superstar? It's Reggie White 2.0. Don't be surprised if Micah Parsons becomes the face of the Packers the way White once was. Third, for the NFL as a whole, this trade is going to be studied for years. It's a cautionary tale about mismanaging talent, about letting ego get in the way of extending your cornerstone players. Teams are going to point to Jerry Jones and say, "Don't let this happen to us." But let's not forget the human side. Micah himself is ecstatic. The moment the news broke, he posted on Instagram, "It's up. Green Bay, let's get to work." He didn't even bother with a thank you to Dallas. That's how sour things had gotten. He wanted out and he got out. And now he's got the bag, the security, and a chance at rings. Jerry Jones, meanwhile, looks like a man exposed. His empire, his image, his reputation, they've all taken a hit. For years, people have whispered that Jerry cares more about being the showman than winning Super Bowls. This trade? It's the loudest evidence yet. He's not building for titles, he's building for headlines. And the headline this time? Jerry Jones loses Micah Parsons. That's not the kind of legacy you want. Now, let's hand out some fake awards, because this story deserves them. The Highway Robbery Award goes to the Green Bay Packers for pulling off the kind of trade that turns contenders into champions. The self-destruct button medal goes to Jerry Jones for pressing it so hard the Cowboys imploded overnight. And finally, the Reggie White reincarnated trophy goes to Micah Parsons, because he's now walking in the footsteps of one of the greatest defensive signings in NFL history. So what's the moral of this saga? It's simple, don't undervalue greatness. Don't assume players will stay loyal just because of a logo. And don't let pride blind you to reality. The Cowboys just learned that the hard way. They thought they could play hardball with Micah Parsons. Instead, they got played. Meanwhile, the Packers are sitting pretty, the rest of the NFC is on red alert, and Micah Parsons? He's laughing all the way to Lambeau and to the bank. Because at the end of the day, Jerry Jones didn't just lose a player. He lost the soul of his defense. He lost the trust of his fan base. And worst of all, he lost face. And in the NFL, humiliation lingers a whole lot longer than any trade return. So tell me, did Jerry Jones just make the biggest mistake of his career? Or did the Packers just pull off the steal of the decade? Because either way, history's already written. This trade isn't just big. It's era-defining. Alright, so you want to feel the aftershocks of Micah Parsons leaving Dallas? Perfect, because this isn't just a trade. It's the kind of moment that rewrites destinies, reshuffles balance sheets, and rewires fan loyalty. When a player of Micah Parsons' caliber changes jerseys, the NFL itself tilts on its axis. And now that he's in Green Bay, you can practically hear the tectonic plates of football history grinding together. Let's rewind for a second. Think about what just happened in Dallas. This was supposed to be their moment. Dak in his prime. CeeDee Lamb blossoming into one of the best receivers in the league. That defense, anchored by, you guessed it, Micah Parsons, striking fear into opposing quarterbacks. On paper, this was the Cowboys' window. A chance to finally silence the decades of overrated jokes, the "We Dem Boys" memes, the endless reminders that their last Super Bowl came before half their roster was even born. And then Jerry freaking Jones, torched it. Because let's be honest, you don't let a player like Micah Parsons out the door. Ever. Pass rushers of that caliber are unicorns. He's not just a linebacker, he's a force of nature. A quarterback's recurring nightmare. The kind of player who can win you games almost single-handedly. But instead of extending him, instead of saying, "Here's the blank check, write whatever number you want," Dallas tried to play hardball. They tried to flex power. And they lost. Now the Cowboys are standing in front of the mirror, staring at themselves, wondering how the hell they let this happen. The fan base isn't just mad, they're betrayed. Twitter, let's just call it what it is, has turned into a funeral procession, with Cowboys fans posting Micah highlights set to sad music, writing captions like, "We'll never see this again." It's heartbreak in real time, and the villain isn't Micah. It's Jerry. But while Dallas wallows in despair, let's talk about what's happening up in Green Bay, because Lambeau just became the epicenter of the football universe. The Packers didn't just sign a player. They resurrected an era. It feels like 1993 all over again, when Reggie White shocked the world by choosing Green Bay. That move changed everything. It put the Packers back on the map, it turned them into contenders, and within a few years, they had a Lombardi trophy in the case. Now here comes Micah Parsons, 30 years later, wearing the green and gold, carrying that same game-changer aura. Think about the impact. Jordan Love doesn't have to be Superman anymore. He doesn't need to throw for 400 yards a game just to keep Green Bay competitive. Because now, on the other side of the ball, you've got a defense with a nuclear weapon. Micah Parsons is going to line up, pin his ears back, and chase down quarterbacks like a lion after gazelles. And when the snow starts falling in January, good luck. Micah in Lambeau Snow is basically a horror movie villains wish they'd written. Fans in Green Bay are losing their minds. The second the trade became official, cheeseheads were flooding pro shops, buying out every Parsons jersey in stock. People were posting videos of themselves crying tears of joy, saying things like, "This is the happiest I've been since Favre beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl." And the Packers organization? They're leaning into it. Press releases comparing Parsons to Reggie White. Social media posts calling him the next legend of Lambeau. They know what they have, and they're not shy about showing it off. Meanwhile, Micah himself is strutting into Green Bay like a man reborn. He didn't just escape Dallas, he leveled up. The first time he stepped onto the practice field in Packers gear, the vibe was electric. Teammates were grinning like kids on Christmas morning. Coaches couldn't stop gushing in press conferences. And Micah? He just kept saying the same thing, "I'm here to win rings." Deadly. But here's the thing, you don't drop a bomb this big without fallout. The rest of the NFC is shook. Philly fans, already rivals with both Dallas and Green Bay, are caught between laughing at the Cowboys' incompetence and sweating bullets about facing Parsons twice a year. San Francisco, who thought they had the best defense in the conference, now have to scheme around that guy in the playoffs. And Detroit? Oh, Detroit thought they were the up-and-coming kings of the NFC North. Guess what? Micah Parsons just moved into their backyard. Dallas, on the other hand, is spiraling. They got 2 first-rounders and Kenny Clark, which sounds decent on paper, but let's be real, picks are lottery tickets. You don't trade away guaranteed greatness for maybe. Cowboys fans know it. Players in the locker room know it. Even Dak Prescott knows it. He tried to play the diplomat card in interviews, saying, "We'll miss Micah, but we have to move forward." Translation? We're screwed, but I can't say that out loud. And Jerry Jones? He's doubling down. This is about the future of the franchise, he told reporters. But the smirk is gone. The swagger is cracked. Deep down, even Jerry has to know, this isn't just a bad trade. This is his legacy taking a hit. The man who once built dynasties is now the guy who let the best defensive player in football slip away. So let's hand out some fake awards, because this soap opera deserves a trophy ceremony. The Thanos Snap award goes to Micah Parsons for instantly flipping the power balance of the NFC. The Clown Shoes medal goes to Jerry Jones for proving once again that ego and stubbornness will sink a ship faster than any storm. And the Reggie White Reboot trophy goes to the Green Bay Packers for pulling off a move that feels like history repeating itself in the best possible way. But let's end with this. Micah Parsons isn't just a player who switched teams. He's a seismic event. Dallas lost its defensive soul, Green Bay gained a generational star, and the NFL just watched its hierarchy shift overnight. Alright, let's crank this up to mythic proportions because Micah Parsons' first game as a Green Bay Packer wasn't just football, it was folklore being written in real time. This wasn't a preseason scrimmage or a quiet Week 3 matchup. No, this was Lambeau Field under the lights, opening night, snow machines blasting even though it was only September, fans packed shoulder to shoulder in frozen anticipation. And there, at the heart of it all, was number 11 in green and gold, ready to unleash chaos. Let's paint the scene. The air is buzzing like electricity. Cheeseheads in the stands are wearing jerseys so new the tags are still attached. Camera crews can't keep their lenses off Parsons, zooming in on every smirk, every stretch, every glance toward the opposing sideline. He isn't just walking onto the field, he's owning it, like a gladiator stepping into the Coliseum. And make no mistake, this isn't just about the Packers. This is about Dallas too. Because every sack, every hit, every roar from the crowd is a reminder of what Jerry Jones gave away. The whistle blows, the game begins, and within minutes, Micah makes his presence felt. First snap he rushes, forces a hurried throw. The crowd roars. Second snap, he drops back in coverage, breaks up a pass like he's been playing corner his whole life. The crowd loses it. By the third defensive possession, the quarterback looks like he's seen a ghost. Because he has. Micah Parsons is in his head, haunting him before the ball is even snapped. And then it happens. The moment. Third down. Opposing QB drops back. Parsons explodes off the line like a missile, sheds a block like it's tissue paper, and boom, crushes the quarterback into the frozen Lambeau turf. The stadium doesn't just cheer, it erupts. People are screaming, beer is flying, fans are hugging strangers like they just won the lottery. Lambeau is shaking. And on the sideline? Jordan Love is grinning like a man who knows his job just got a hell of a lot easier. But this isn't just about one sack. No, Parsons is relentless. He racks up pressures, hits, double teams. By halftime, the broadcast graphic is already comparing his stat line to Reggie White's debut. The commentators can't shut up about him. This is why you pay $188 million, one of them says. This is what Dallas gave away. And oh, you know Dallas is watching. Jerry Jones sitting in his luxury box back in Arlington, face red, drink untouched. Cowboys fans glued to their TVs, some in tears, some in rage. Twitter melting down with side-by-side memes. Micah Parsons in Green Bay equals unstoppable. Cowboys defense without him equals Swiss cheese. Brutal. Meanwhile, the Packers locker room is electric. Veterans are lining up to pat Parsons on the back. Rookies are whispering to each other, "Man, this is different. This guy changes everything." And head coach Matt LaFleur? He's practically giddy, telling reporters post-game, Micah's not just a player. He's a multiplier. He makes everyone around him better. The stats from that first game become instant legend. 2 sacks, 5 QB hits, a forced fumble, and a highlight reel that will be replayed for years. Analysts are already declaring Green Bay's defense the scariest in the league. Opposing coaches are updating their game plans, penciling in "Stop number 11" at the top of their white boards. And the fans? They're chanting his name before he even gets to the tunnel. Am I safe? Am I safe? But here's the delicious part, the ripple effects. In Dallas, chaos. Reporters bombard Dak Prescott with questions. How different would this defense look with Micah still here? Dak tries to stay calm, but the frustration seeps through. Micah's a great player. We wish him well. We've got to move on. Translation, we're cooked. Micah's old teammates? They're subtweeting. Some posting cryptic emojis, others outright saying, "Man, wish he was still here." The cracks in Dallas's locker room are widening, and it's only week 1. The national media, of course, can't resist piling on. Headlines the next morning read like obituaries. Parsons powers Packers, buries Cowboys legacy. Jerry's $188 million mistake. From Dallas star to Green Bay legend, the Micah Parsons story. And Green Bay fans? They're basking in it. Bars are staying open late, serving Micah margaritas and Parsons punch. Kids are begging their parents for number 11 jerseys. Talk radio in Wisconsin is playing Reggie White clips alongside Parsons highlights, asking, "Who did it better?" Let's hand out some fake awards for this night, because honestly, it deserves its own ceremony. The Lambeau Lightning Bolt award goes to Micah Parsons for striking fear into quarterbacks faster than a thunderclap. The ghost of Reggie White medal goes to the Packers for summoning defensive greatness from the past and unleashing it on the present. And the facepalm of the century trophy goes, once again, to Jerry Jones, who now has to watch every Parsons highlight with the knowledge that he let it happen. But here's the thing, this isn't just one game. This is the beginning of a new chapter. The Packers are now legitimate Super Bowl contenders, not because their offense suddenly became world-class, but because they've got a defensive weapon capable of wrecking games all by himself. And in the NFL, that's priceless. The Cowboys, on the other hand? They're staring down another year of disappointment. Fans are already calling for Jerry to step down, though we all know he never will. The narrative isn't about whether Dallas can win, it's about how badly they'll regret letting Micah walk. So what's the moral of this saga? It's simple. Greatness can't be lowballed. You don't negotiate with unicorns, you build dynasties around them. The Packers knew it. Jerry Jones didn't. And now history belongs to Green Bay. Because years from now, when they're telling the story of Micah Parsons, they won't talk about the trade package. They won't talk about the contract numbers. They'll talk about the night he stepped onto Lambeau Field, owned it like a king, and turned the Packers back into legends. And Dallas? Well, they'll be a footnote. The team that had it all, and gave it away.